Dandadan has taken the manga world by storm with its unique blend of genres and captivating storyline. Fans can't get enough of its thrilling adventures and memorable characters. But what if I told you there's another manga out there that's just as good? The manga I'm talking about is a hidden gem that's been left in the Shonen Jump archives. Its engaging plot and quirky characters have me hooked, and I think it might do the same for you. What makes this manga stand out is its ability to balance action, drama, and humor seamlessly. The creator has done an amazing job of crafting a story that's both entertaining and thought-provoking. Let's dive into what makes this manga tick. It would be an understatement to say that Dandadan has taken over the industry. A manga series both written and illustrated by Yukinobu Tatsu. This series was serialized in Shonen Jump Plus since April of 2021. It was a smash hit with fans as, by November 2023, the manga had 3.2 million copies in circulation. Now, the following year came the beloved anime adaptation, bolstered by a mesmerizing opening enhanced by one of the greatest songs by CreepyNuts. The adaptation rose in popularity due to the vibrant and expressive animation, characters, and unique storytelling. So much so that a year after the airing of the anime, the circulation of manga copies grew to a staggering 12 million. Nothing about Dandadan is small or feeble, yet this fame has brought something to my attention. As we fawn over this fantastic series, there are other unique and captivating series out there as well, some released by manhwa artists or through online forums or magazines, series that, with the right attention, could capture the spotlight. What about series that had their time to shine and just faded into obscurity? That series is Muyon Roji's Bureau of Supernatural Investigation, a manga series written and illustrated by Yoshiyuki Nishi. This creepy and quirky series saw popularity in Japan, but didn't hit it off internationally. Debuting in 2004, it ran against popular series like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, Yu-Gi-Oh!, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Steel Ball Run to be specific, and Gintama. Still, it holds a unique and admirable place next to series like Dandadan. How, you may ask? Much like Dandadan, it boils down to the excellent themes, characters, premise, and art style that elevates Muyon Roji above the rest for me. To start, let's introduce some characters. Muyon Roji is a supernatural series focused on the two protagonists, Toru Muyo and Jiro Kusano, or Roji to his friends. The two work to exorcise dangerous and malicious spirits. Sounds like Dandadan, right? Kicking spirit butt and whatnot, a jolly good time. Our first protagonist is Muyo. He's a small, abrasive child who is straightforward, commanding, and typically off-putting. This is emphasized by his creepy demeanor and no-nonsense attitude. He is often the voice of reason, logical, and 9 times out of 10 right about all the things transpiring around them. Still, that abrasiveness just hides a kind interior that wants to protect those in trouble and those closest to him, much like Turbo Granny. She seems like a dastardly old crone hell-bent on causing trouble for Momo Okuran. She comes off as antagonistic from the get-go, but slowly reveals her caring nature for those done wrong by the living. To complement this abrasive young child is Roji. This young man, older than Muyo, is his assistant. Unlike his boss, Roji wears his feelings on his sleeves. He reacts mainly with fear and appears more of a liability to Muyo's work. Yet, when trouble arises, makes up for his cowardice by acting without thinking and protecting those around him. From the get-go, we see Roji as more of a caregiver than an employee, a funny joke by the author since we are unsure of Muyo's age. It is surmised that Muyo is around junior high age, while Roji is around 18. Still, Roji mirrors Okuran before gaining strides with his powers. In the beginning, Okuran was obviously more timid and rattled by the constant threats. However, he still responded to those in need and put his life on the line to help. Now, you may be asking, so what? Characters alone don't make a story. It's the world they reside in, the threats they face, and the challenges they overcome. Well, let me lay down some facts for you. I feel like I don't have to rehash the plot and conflicts of Dandadan for those who are up to date with it, whether it's the anime or manga. If I had to summarize it though, it'd be yokai versus aliens, and those, our protagonists, who are caught in the middle. Aliens want the powers of the yokai to invade Earth, and yokai want to keep aliens off their turf. This unique premise is, in my opinion, what sets Dandadan apart from the average Shonen Jump. It's done in such a masterful and unique way that grabs our attention. Why? Because it's two seemingly opposite concepts forced together. That's also what Muyo and Roji bring to the table. Imagine this: you are an up-and-coming lawyer. A client comes to your office with a case. What kind of case? Tax fraud? Murder? No. There is a malicious spirit pulling people from a train platform into harm's way. Sounds crazy, right? But that's what magic law is. Muyo is an executor. Being the youngest to graduate from the magic law school, executor Muyo is tasked with charging spirits with the appropriate crimes and having them sentenced accordingly. To do so, they make contracts with the underworld. These denizens of the underworld then respond and punish the offender. Now, much like Okuran losing his balls and being cursed to receive his powers, there is a price to be paid. That is in the form of tempering. Described as the user's spirit or willpower, this is used in exchange for summoning an envoy. Now, there are other prices that can be paid but have a higher risk. But for now, tempering is the means of summoning envoys to dish out punishment. What role does Roji play in all this? Aside from the usual administrative duties, he is a second clerk, essentially the lowest rank, and tasked with helping Muyo with his work. This is shown constantly with him compensating for Muyo's obvious limitations, such as being unable to move while summoning an envoy. Speaking of envoys, these creepy individuals vary in shape, size, yet the art style really brings life into each and every one of them. This is an aesthetic that many will be drawn to. Now, in all honesty, it doesn't have the same fast-paced, balls-to-the-wall action that Dandadan is known for. Regardless, that excitement comes from the unknown and the dangerous individuals who have killed, coming face-to-face with our protagonist. Yet, there is, just like Dandadan, a single moment that was impactful enough to make me a lifelong fan. Impact is such a powerful word. It denotes force, power, leaving a lasting impression. Like having a speaker at graduation inspire you to reach for the stars. Or eating a Taco Bell chalupa that damages your toilet for all eternity. Same thing. This is how series submit their place in history and in our hearts. When did Dragon Ball Z become a series that you'd tune in for every single week? When did Naruto become a series you knew you had to read every single volume for? For each of us, this impact or that moment, it differs. Some will say when Goku went Super Saiyan, or when Naruto's first Nine Tails transformation. It was something so game-changing that we became a fan deep within our hearts. Dandadan has that impact. So, what scene sold that for you? The most impactful moment for me came in the first chapter. The absurd start was enough to capture my attention and my dedication to this series. It begins with a sense of denial. Two different worlds suddenly collide. Momo, a believer of the supernatural, is quick to deny the extraterrestrial claims of the alien enthusiast Okuran. Thus, the two venture to abandoned locations. It reminded me of those fake ghost hunting shows. You know, they travel to some abandoned house for a night and all of a sudden, the ghost begins to freak out, twerking on tables, flipping those tables, and leaving the toilet seat up. Nothing is off limits for these dastardly spirits. However, there is a general consensus that these shows are rubbish. It's for entertainment only. That's where the smack to the face reveal comes. Both aliens and spirits catch us by surprise, and change and alter the protagonist's lives forever. We can all agree this moment turned this into an unexpected journey for the readers. We failed to predict the wacky and wild adventure that would follow this very chapter. For each series, there must be a defining moment that not only sets up the story, but keeps our interest. There's so many other scenes that accomplish this, like the Evil Eye arc, or even Okuran finally losing his powers. Therefore, how does Muyon Roji measure up? Muyon Roji's intro sets a dangerous tone for the series. It denotes the dangers that spirits pose to humans and how dangerous this job is. The first scene that set my heart ablaze was in the first chapter, of course, when their first client appears. Now, what you will notice is the tone at their office differs so much when they're on the job, right? Going back to it, the client comes in, Ri comes in because she needs help. Now, this chapter does really well in introducing the job and what they do with a brief demonstration of what magic law is. However, it's the spirits they're going after that really takes the cake for me. The buildup is phenomenal and reminds me of old horror flicks, right? From the description of hands pulling people from the train platform to the terrified countenance of Ri when approaching the platform sold it for me. For context, Ri comes to them to exorcise a spirit from track 5. They take the case, and throughout this chapter and those to come, it features some of my favorite panels. Those panels highlight the author's unique style. Like Dandadan's crazy and large panels, they stick out to you. Back on topic though, Ri is concerned that it's a friend of hers named Teiko. The two became friends as they were loners, but as Ri became more popular, being a star in volleyball, she refused to hang out with Teiko anymore. She refused to hold Teiko's hand at the train station, and that led to her falling in front of an oncoming train. She believes that Teiko can't rest because she killed her. So they go to the platform, and as a multitude of hands appear on Ri, we get the ghastly reveal of her friend's appearance, a horrifying creature born from the countless deaths at that train station, all centered around this one girl. Muyon Roji managed to save Ri and send Teiko to the underworld, but Ri, still feeling guilty, tries to save her, and Muyo lays down his most iconic line: "For every crime, there is punishment." This becomes his stance throughout the series. He doesn't question the law, but upholds it to protect the living. Despite this, once he sees that Teiko has regained herself, he convinces Hades to change the punishment to a lighter one. Therefore, Muyo upholds the law, but believes that depending on the person and their transformation, the punishment can change. This was the moment, and many after this, that sold this series for me. While Dandadan made waves by slapping us in the face with the supernatural and extraterrestrial in one go, Muyon Roji cement our expectations of the series with a gruesome reminder of the dangers of the dead and how, if unchecked, can do immeasurable harm to the living. A lesson that puts our characters in constant mortal danger. Danger is the name of the game for the characters in Dandadan. From malicious aliens to self-centered spirits, the characters are always fighting for their lives, literally. It literally propels the story in ways we didn't see coming, where chapter 1 slaps us in the face with the reveal of these entities, then revealing that people can have their powers. That rings true for Muyon Roji as well. While spirits are a main problem to be solved, another conflict arises from the deaths of this series. Magical law is dictated as the proper means of exorcising spirits and either sending them to heaven or down below. This is accomplished by making a contract with an envoy, as I mentioned earlier, and calling on them to exercise judgment. However, there are villains who seek to destroy mankind. These individuals are forbidden magic users. As described before, to use an envoy's power, one must offer up tempering. However, giving up something more precious will provide more power in general. That's being one's soul. These individuals, with grudges against the Magic Law Association, have casted away their humanity, sold their souls to an envoy, and are granted power to harm humankind. The cost? Upon death, their souls are devoured by the contracted envoy. It is literally a self-destructive act. Foolishness. I bring all this up to introduce the man of hatred himself. Introduced early on, Inshu is a classmate of Muyo. Now, I didn't touch on this early on, but Muyo was the youngest to graduate because of his genius. Muyo tends to sleep a lot, and that's due to the enormous amount of energy needed to perform the feats that he accomplishes. He is a genius who is well versed in law, capable of summoning envoys that would require 10 executors to do, and he is the winner of his class. Inshu was the opposite of a genius. The son of a sick mother, he had to work tirelessly to gain the position, to make the grades. Unfortunately, due to the untimely death of his mother and his absence from school, Muyo was gifted the honor of being the executor of his class. This grudge towards Muyo, the law association that he feels abandoned him, and the loss of his mother drove him to the dark side. His goal then became to destroy Muyo and the law association as it is. From killing people, stealing souls, to mass genocide, Inshu will stop at nothing to win. Therefore, it becomes a battle against the heinous plots of Inshu and his group, who each have their own story and are guided by a desire to see the world burn. Then, what's there left to say about this series? Well, one last thing, and possibly the best reason to read it for yourself. Dandadan has and still is a wild ride of emotional ups and downs. When we feel we've seen what this series has to offer, the author throws a wrench into our expectations. It has only been bolstered further by the amazing anime adaptation. It has been further popularized by the amazing anime adaptation, done right. I don't have to convince you to watch or read Dandadan. Yet, why should you read Muyo Roji? There is an anime, but it is good, but not as good as Dandadan. I'm just saying. I could spend an hour hyping it up, but you could use that hour to read the first chapter. Instead, I can only convince you of its quality and its place in Shonen Jump history. This series represents a time in my life, a time where battle manga reigned supreme. Dandadan achieved this fame in part to his deviation from the typical battle manga formula. Instead of key and over-the-top explosions, this story took a new path to entertain its readers. The same was true for Muyo Roji for me. During a time where it was everything power levels and fast-paced action, it was keen to take a creative detour. Muyo Roji may not change our lives or get an anime adaptation that shifts perspectives, but it's a quirky supernatural series that mirrors the quirkiness of Dandadan. A willingness to deviate from what was popular at that time and just have fun. For a fun series that is over, give Muyo Roji Bureau of Supernatural Investigation a read. In conclusion, this manga is a force to be reckoned with. Its unique blend of genres, engaging plot, and memorable characters make it a standout. If you're a fan of Dandadan, you owe it to yourself to check this manga out. You might just find yourself falling in love with its quirky characters and captivating storyline. It's all up to you. So, what do you think? Have you read this manga before, or is it on your radar? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more manga content, and check out my other videos for related reviews and discussions about manga. Until next time, keep reading.